How is it going, everyone? Welcome to more Gran Turismo 4. And today I wanna get my revenge at the World Championship. Assuming that I can, you know, do enough with the Minolta. I gotta assume I can. I mean, if I cannot with this, there's no way I can do it any other way. So this will have to do. Though there is one thing that I remember from last time, that we gotta re-roll depending on what opponent shows up. Rather, the Sauber Mercedes, if that guy shows up, we gotta re-roll. It didn't show up here, so we get the Minolta and a couple of Nissan, and also pretty sure that Gillette and AMG are Shover, so I guess we're gonna basically be competing against our own car. Just wanna double check. I have racing hard tires, right? Yeah, correct. Alright. We will see how this goes. I don't know. But I have faith, or rather I want to have faith. So let's see. The points go down by a lot compared to doing it with the other car that I tried last time. Well, the other car that is basically the same one that is right there, the gray one. This one. That's the one I use. I'm assuming that here he is a shover as well. I gotta say that in terms of handling and acceleration and all of that, this car doesn't seem that different from that car that I was just mentioning. But here the real deal is if I can avoid losing too much time with these tires. The default tires for this car are racing medium, but I'm pretty sure that if I use racing medium, I will need to pit stop. In fact, that Minolta we have as a rival will pit stop. No matter what, it will pit stop. And so will the Nissan. So the good thing is that even if I didn't have the lead like this, I can still comfortably win if he pit stops and I don't. But that's the thing, and I don't. That's the question. Will I need to pit stop or not? You can already see that the tire wear here is going onto the rear ones, not the front ones. The front ones are doing their thing. They are more than fine. But considering that they are already getting green, I have my doubts. From is that going with super hard tires is gonna make handling impossible. That's my issue. At the moment we go with the hard tires, it's, you know, may as well be using the other car I was using, but I do need to not stop on pits. Like, that's very important. Well, maybe with these opponents it's not that important, because I know for a fact that all of these guys will pit stop. Not the ones on the last place though. And the ones that are 5th and 6th probably won't pit stop, but the issue is that, well, the thing is that it doesn't matter because they are slow anyway, so even if they don't pit stop, I'm pretty sure the time difference will be wide enough for me to win anyways. But yeah, no, the only thing that matters is what the Minolta, the other Minolta and the Nissans do. And I'm pretty sure they all pit stop once. Ideally though, I would like to not pit stop, but we will see. I think that the trade-off with using super hard tires is not worth it. I mean, these ones, you can see that. Ignore that corner. But you can see that I more or less can drive well with racing hard tires. But with super hard tires, I have a feeling that I will struggle so much. So I don't think I like that idea, personally. But I also don't like the idea of pit stopping, so we will see what happens. I mean, this is still a test at the end of the day, but just that it's a test that can potentially also be the victory I need. And of course, all this insane advantage that I'm having here is like, wow, this is free, you got this. But the performance of my tires is gonna deteriorate. Just as it happened with the other Mercedes racing car. We will see. I also really like the way this car looks. It's like, well, I guess you can say that it is over the top in the sense that it doesn't look like a regular car at all. Well, it's a racing prototype after all, but I feel like it does look simple, like it looks slick. It looks like something that doesn't try hard to look like grandiose, right? For LMP standards. You know, that wasn't a very good corner. For now, we just gotta keep track of the rear tires. Those are the ones that will matter the most. I'm pretty sure that here, if I was racing against the Sauber Mercedes, that guy will be very close to me right now. And, well, he does pit stop as well, but we don't need one of those. Seems like this is gonna be hard enough as it is, so no need for any added difficulty, you know. I think the tires, the rear ones won't hold for too long here, unfortunately. Though it would have been so much worse with medium ones, with the default ones. So the switch to hard tires was good, but it's crazy that even with this, the tire wear is so big, you know. And I think that you can already start seeing here that they are kinda closing their distance on me. A little. Okay, mostly in the corner section, because it seems that I might be going faster on straights, I guess. Not sure how. I don't know exactly how the game calculates the speed of the opponents, because from a technical standpoint, it shouldn't be possible that two cars that are exactly the same and mine without any upgrades, that this one is faster. Faster on a straight, I mean. So that will be weird, but I don't know, maybe it is like that. Yeah, they do gain distance on the corners, but they seem to lose it again when a straight comes. I really wonder what's gonna happen on the oval track. A little bit scared of that one too. So if my top speed is superior, maybe it's not that bad, but we already seen that steering is pretty much just as important. Okay, my rear tires are getting yellow. That ain't good. Maybe I can hold on until the end. I think that the most time that I lose, the reason why they gain distance on me is because of that deadly chicane there. I think it's such a hard corner to do, at least to do properly. Okay. So, in case there's any doubt, this race is pretty much won. No matter what, this race is won. But I worry about the following ones, especially because keep in mind that this race is a standing start, while some of the other ones are rolling start. And rolling start is always harder. Also, how is it going, Kyle? I'm doing well so far. Our opponents are another Minolta and an R92 and an R89. And well, two shovers that don't matter at all. But yeah, those three are my opponents. And as you can see, they are pretty much the same in terms of performance as we already saw. So those are the ones to look out for. The other two are irrelevant. No, the Chaparral didn't appear yet, to the point that I wonder if it can even appear. Maybe in this version of the game it doesn't. Because I think that, considering the attempts that we had with the Mercedes, we did like, what? Like 10 rerolls? Well, maybe not 10, but around 6. And the Chaparral did not appear even once. So I even wonder if it's possible for the Chaparral to appear. Have my doubts. Hey, maybe it does appear. Right. So this is where my rear wheel will start failing. Oh, the Minolta already pits in lap 8. But not the Nissan. I don't know when the Nissan's pit. Well, I think that they might pit on the last one. Is that here I'm losing my grip like crazy. Considering the insane advantage I'm gonna have from this guy's pitting, I could hold on until the end without pitting, but... Well, even if these guys don't pit, I'm pretty sure I can hold on until the ending. Speed demon, but a bit worse in everything else. Speed demon like the Michael Jackson song. Team, I can't believe the shover car pits in, like holy shit. Why did you even postulate to this race? I'm not gonna pit in. Because even if I get into 10 accidents, I'm not gonna get overtaken anyway, so it doesn't matter. And it's also unnecessarily risky, because if one of those two Nissans doesn't pit, I'm not gonna win if I pit in. Okay, so the 92 pits, but what about the 89? Okay, both Nissans pit, so that's good. That means that, at least in this race, pitting is essentially mandatory for the cars that matter. I don't know about the other races, but in this one they all pit. And also, you know that my rear left tire is pretty bad, as you can see, but this car is still holding on. Obviously I can feel the performance of the corners being worse. Like you can see that it's starting to slide, but it's not as bad as it was with, well, that car that just pit in. When I was using that car, at this point it was close to undrivable. But this one, even with the tire about to pop, it's still going well. Yeah, slip at these speeds will be a problem. But that was a very, very clean victory. But yeah, the good thing is I have margin to pit stop, since it seems that the time for me to pit stop is essentially the same as my opponents. So there will be one thing I will do, and I know that you will probably think, damn, what a pain in the ass, right? I will autosave after every race. Like, I will go here after every race just to autosave and then go to the next one. Because if something bad happens, and I'm not just talking about like the game crashing or whatever, if I mess up, you will have to redo the whole championship. Well, depending on the points you have, yes, but this will be the one race that I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I really don't. I feel like in a race like this, it's anything goes. Well, as Kyle say, the Minolta has the best speed apparently. But this oval is not like the test course that the only thing that matters is the speed. Here, you need to be able to steer well enough. Also, this is not legal to do, by the way. The question is who gives a shit, and I definitely don't, so it can be me. But you cannot go down to the apron like that. That's not legal. Not legal in any category. Now, the Minolta in front of me is actually starting to run away, but we will see. Well, not to mention, it's not legal and it might not even be faster. I think I definitely do lose speed on this corner. And that's most likely because the tires that I have are racing hard. I bribe the judges, of course. Yeah, I'm Argentinian. If there's anything that Argentinians are good at, is bribing. Well, in fact, you know, I mean, I seen a study that obviously this studies could basically be shit that, you know, it's not true at all, but apparently there is a study that says that the most liar countries in the world are in number 1 Peru, in number 2 Argentina, and number 3 Mexico, and then number 4 Japan. Obviously these studies are, it's just one person making shit up most likely. But I will be willing to believe the Argentinian part at least. Because people here lie like there's no tomorrow. I always try not to lie. In fact, I'm pretty sure everything I say on stream is not a lie. I could joke about something, of course. And I cannot really say I never said a lie on stream. Because I probably did, I don't know which one or when, but I always try to not lie, because I don't like lying, simply because I don't like when people lie to me, you know, it's a two-way street. Okay, so the apron is not actually faster. Huh, that's interesting. I was sure that it would be faster, I guess no. Well, don't go to the apron then. Is your sister single? No. And that's not a lie. That's true. Japan lying to save face. Well, in Japan they always say about something that they call... No, they don't call it like that. They call it tatemae, which essentially means, yeah, lying to save face, pretty much. They should put a cool sounding word with it. But yeah, tatemae. It's lying to save face. Ah shit, Nissan, come on. Fucking asshole. Okay, yeah, thanks for that. That was useful to me. I'm getting closer to the Minolta here. There is a lap car. So the lap car was not a problem for any of us, surprisingly. Overtaking the Minolta, okay. The Minolta might also need to pit stop. Though I don't know if they are gonna bother pit stopping in an oval, but they could. We're still not halfway done though. They call it Faku. No, they don't call it like that. Here, I think it will be impossible to take this Minolta off me. And the issue with that is that he very easily can cause an accident. Oh, the Mercedes is... oh shit. That will be a race-ending accident if this had damage. Like, a hit like that to the wall at this speeds. Yeah, good luck, bro. Your car is not recovering from that. Well, at least it seems that one of my biggest worries, which was the oval racing twin ring Motegi, seems like it won't be a problem. Maybe I'm not gonna win it, like maybe towards the end the Minolta is gonna overtake. I wouldn't be surprised because of tire consumption. Unless he pits in, of course. But at least I'm glad that I didn't end in dead last or anything like that, you know. Huh. Hello. How are you doing? You doing well? I hope you are not, because that's bad news for me. It's fine. Hey, this will be a close battle. Oh, he pits? Really? This early? No way. Only one of my tires is kinda yellow, and he already pits in? Alright. Well, thanks for handling me the victory just like that. I mean, he pits in to only do it once, because he did it after lap 11, but like, come on, dude. Well, and these guys are pitting as well. I think the only pity here is what I feel towards them. Yeah, don't worry about it. Like, look. Remember the warning of our race engineer Kyle? He said, fuck Hong Kong, which is the next track. So look, things can still go down the shitter very easily. So we cannot, under any circumstances, assume that we already won. This is not over yet. So the Minolta that is... yeah, I was out to say his lap. That's pretty funny. But yeah, the twin ring Motegi one will be free. Now, something that I noticed with this car is that the fuel consumption is crazy. Like, the fuel consumption compared to the Mercedes is absolutely crazy. I'm pretty sure the Mercedes didn't get halfway through the tank in Tokyo, but this one did. And here in the oval, I mean, it makes sense. If it's a faster car, it's to be expected, but then... Well, that was quite slow. It's fine though. The Pescarolo has the Wolverine tires. Yeah, well, that's the thing. The reason why I decided to rock the tires that I'm rocking right now is precisely in case the Pescarolo shows up. Because if I had to race against these guys, theoretically using the medium tires means that I'm in the same level as they are. So that's not a problem. I got the Temu ones. But yeah, the thing is that to make things more exciting, I could switch to racing medium, but honestly, I'm in a championship like this, if this were single races, I will be trying it. But these are not single races, so, and not to mention they are long ones. So this formula here with the racing hard tires works. So if this works, there is no reason to fix it. Oh, what the hell? You having troubles there? Come on. Okay. At least it's nice. It's like it's perfectly calculated. The moment my rear tire starts getting fogged is the moment the race ends. It's like this was rigged in a way to make me win. Like everything was rigged to favor me. Yeah, it's what I did off the stream. I rigged the racing sheriffs. Well, actually, they don't call it sheriff. Sheriff is the word that's used in Spanish. Well, the Spanish word for sheriff. In English, they call it stewards. The people that are constantly monitoring the race as it happens, and they are like, hey, this guy, like, you know, did something illegal, or there was an accident, who do we blame? Right? Alright, Hong Kong. What's gonna happen in Hong Kong? I don't know what's gonna happen in Hong Kong. But yeah, Kyle really doesn't like this track, and I might feel the same in a couple moments. You know, there are 18 laps. Don't run over the protesters. I mean, if I don't do it, someone else will. A certain party will. Anyways, the point is that. Okay, I need to really brake in these corners. Now, this is not... Jesus Christ, okay. That's a problem. That is a big problem. Now, you have to brake so fucking much, it's crazy. Well, the fact that I'm using racing hard also... Oh, what the hell? Come on, bro. What are you doing here? It seems that even the AI cannot deal with this track. Well, I wish instead of the shovel car it was one of the other ones. But this guy is using me as a waterboarding thing here. Unbelievable. It is impossible. Is it? I mean, maybe I should bring the racing medium tires, but the moment I do that, I lose the advantage on the rest. Yeah, this is a problem. My best bet here... Yellow car is playing flat out. He might, yeah. Yellow car is doing things, alright? The yellow car is certainly doing things. My best bet here, unfortunately with this amount of laps, I don't even know if I can manage to not pit stop. Also, the pit stop is an abomination, by the way. But it's fine. Like, to the point that I don't even know if the pit stop is wide enough for this car to fit. It obviously is, but I mean, it's just by looking at it, I might think that I'm not gonna fit. But my best bet, as I was saying, is that the Minolta pit stops and I don't. And differently from the other races here, that seems like it's the only way to win. In the other races I already had enough of a good advantage, but here I don't. I mean, I'm not even in the podium right now. I could get second place, I'm pretty sure, but first place, I find it problematic to do that. Yeah, the lime green tires too. That's the thing that is worrying me. The tires are not doing too well right now. And this is still very early in the race, so I'm not sure what to expect. But that's fine. I mean, at least if I overtake this guy, I will be getting to the podium. I mean, the idea is to get used to the corners. That's the important thing. Gotta get used to the corners, so that way you can get like a little bit of an advantage over the other guys. Because here, assuming that I can consistently drive well in the next laps, I will even get close to the first place. But we will see about that. For now, seems like it might be a problem. It's at 9 seconds. No, very nice. There is another thing, but I feel like this is just a straight up coping. That the Minolta needs to pit stop twice instead of once. That is an ultra cope. But it might happen. I mean, this race is very long. Keep in mind that the previous one was 10 minutes and the Tokyo one might have been like 14. This one is shaping up to... What the hell is this guy doing? Hey! We're talking about the stewards early. What are they doing right now? Was my bribe not enough? So forget about bribe. This is something that they should normally, you know, fall in my favor, right? What are you doing? Whatever. At least the R89 is behind me. But I still need the R92 and the Minolta, of course. Yamero Nissan, I agree, but it's not the only one. We got another one here. And the Minolta. The Minolta is always there. Always there as an objective to it. So, well, this is basic mathematics, but essentially here, if we want this guy to pit stop more than once, they will have to do it before lap 9. Yes, basic mathematics, but just as a thing to look forward to. Also, you can see how in a in a track like this, the fuel consumption is a lot lower than it was in the oval. Obviously, here the times that you're accelerating are counted. Well, I mean, you accelerate after every corner exit, but I mean that you're not gonna be accelerating too much with all these corners. That's for sure. I mean, I'm cutting the distance, but the tire deterioration is gonna start kicking in soon, so all the distance that I'm cutting now is probably not gonna matter, at least not against the Minolta. Against this Nissan, most likely it will, but we will see also if I can keep it going. Not sure. Okay. So, are you gonna let me overtake? Come on, man. I am faster than you. Oh, oops, my bad. I didn't see you. I think that your teammate sends you his regards. I definitely didn't take revenge on him with you by proxy. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it seems like the Minolta is not gonna pit stop before lap 9, which means that it's gonna be only one pit stop. Which means, well, he could still pit stop on this one and he will need to pit twice if he does that, but I doubt it, that he will be that dumb. But the one thing that matters the most is that I will need to pit stop. That's the annoying part. That's the issue, but he's getting very close. That's the good thing. And no, he doesn't pit stop here, so essentially he will have only one pit stop. And well, I obviously will have only one pit stop as well. The thing is that if I want to win this, I will need to... Well, I will need to overtake him in the track, basically. There won't be any undercutting or whatever. Like, this will have to be a legit overtake. Alright. One thing that I can do, depending on what lap I need to pit, is I could change to medium tires. But I don't know if that's a good idea. It all depends on what lap it is. That's the trick. Which lap is it gonna be? Well, speaking of that, he's gonna pit in this lap. So him pitting in this lap means that essentially this guy had to get out of pits right in front of me. Man, come on, especially this guy that, as Kyle said, drives like he's playing flat out. I hope he, just like he did in the first lap, he gets into an accident here, but no. Emma, you're making me waste time, you sack of shit. Alright. That was a blessing for the other Minolta, but I will have to actually pit stop here. Ironically. I will have, yeah. Damn. And no, changing to racing medium is a horrible idea, needless to say. It's a horrible idea. Alright, what I can say is that they shouldn't refuel me. Like, no refuel. But yeah, keeping the hard tires is otherwise it's probably not gonna be enough. We will see. I mean, the Minolta is obviously gonna overtake me while I'm on pits, but technically the difference shouldn't be that bad, all things considered. Also, yesterday with the Endurance, since I was so focused on it, I never commented how nice that compared to Gran Turismo 3, they added all this fancy animation on the pit stop. Like, that's super cool. The Minolta, well, he's actually right here. That's pretty cool. We actually did some sort of undercutting, but... Now, there is something that I don't know if the game takes into account. Will be very sick if it actually takes it into account. You know that the more fuel you have, the less fast that you're gonna go, because you have more weight into your car, and obviously the lighter a car is, the easier. Fuck, this guy pushed me. This guy pushed me from behind. Is that how we're gonna play Minolta? I thought that the fact that we share the same car, we were gonna be friends. Well, I guess the time for peace is over then. It didn't have to be like this. You choose it to be like this. You chose it to be this way. God damn it. All I'm gonna say is that I hope you watch onto your mirror, because you're gonna have a... I'm gonna give you a little push, let's just say that. Yeah, he pushed me into the bog. Thankfully it didn't make me lose that much time. Or I guess that's also because he didn't do the corner super fast, but... Oh, you know, this corner, coincidentally... Oh, where are you going? That's the wall. Come on, dude. You're not supposed to go there. Are you done? You know what? I could have just tried racing cleanly, but you had to... You did that to yourself, okay? I mean, sure, you can say I braked too early, I did a brake check. That's because you are just way too impatient. Come on, dude, this is Hong Kong. You gotta brake. You gotta use your brakes. Hey, sorry, all that shit distracted me from asking, does the game take into account fuel to calculate the weight of the car? Or is that just way too advanced? Because I'm assuming that's a little bit too advanced for a game that, even though it tries its best to be a simulator, is mostly supposed to be a casual experience, right? It will be interesting if it take that into account. So basically, I don't think there's gonna be any reason to replenish fuel in any of these tracks. Weight reduction is a thing, so fuel probably weights too. But weight reduction is a thing as some sort of upgrade, you know? Like, the thing is that about fuel is that it will be a real-time calculation instead of just checking for an upgrade. So it's possible that they consider it, but I kinda have my doubts. It might be the case, I don't know. This fucking yellow bitch, god damn it. Unbelievable that that car is even allowed to compete here. They should just make the whole thing about LMPs. I know that Gran Turismo's thing is always to combine cars that have nothing to do with each other. But come on, dude. That car is fighting for his life. Maybe not fully real time, but in milestones. Hey, it could be. It will be impressive if it did. Because for a game from 2004, I feel like that's very advanced. I mean, I know that this game is very advanced in general. Well, that's something that I was thinking today, you know. If this game came out today, it will be a game that it will be up to modern standards. The only thing probably lacking is online, since now every game has to have online play with other people. But aside from that, and well, obviously having like updated graphics, like with how the game is, this is a game that passes modern standards. A lot of games in PlayStation 2 do. Like, that's the thing, and one of the reasons why PlayStation 2 is essentially the greatest console ever, but this one is one of them. This one is one of those games that definitely passes the standard, or, well, modern standards, as I say. It does very, very well. I gotta say that I'm glad by my decision of using hard tires. Seems like it works perfectly. To the point that I wonder if I mean, I don't know how the AI handles the need for changing tires, but it would be interesting if they were using hard tires as well. TTR has a single... Wait, hold up. Because with corners like this, has a single race mode, Mario Kart 7 doesn't? Really? It doesn't have a single race mode? I didn't remember that. Is that really the case? But it's not like I try going to a single race, but then that's pretty sad. Well, thankfully Mario Kart 8 has. Then again, Mario Kart 8 is the best Mario Kart game there is. To the point that I think that a lot of people, instead of going to play like Mario Kart World, I think that there might be a lot that are just playing 8. But especially people that didn't buy a Switch 2, of course. You can only pick cups or minigames. Well, Mario Kart 7 you can kinda see it as a tech demo for Mario Kart 8. Just like Smash Bros 3DS was kind of like a tech demo for the Wii U one. It's just the way it is. So I'm curious to play the Smash from 3DS, because yeah, it has a lot of modes that Ultimate doesn't have that seem pretty interesting. Ultimate in that regard is very casual, doesn't really have that many challenge modes. I don't know why, but whatever. Well, eventually I will want to play the single player mode of every Smash game in order. But we will see. Not yet. Well, the Minolta is gaining a little bit on me here at the end. Not like it matters, because I'm gonna win regardless, but if it were a couple more laps, I will be starting to worry right now. No, we have this. So hey, we survived Hong Kong. I don't think that's a small feat. That's pretty nice. Hong Kong survive. Just like that. Alright. Another worry out of my system. The problem here is that I don't know any of the following tracks. I haven't checked and I don't remember them if I ever did this championship in the past. I don't know which ones they are. But I hope that everything goes right. Hopefully. I mean, of hard tracks that I can think of that I wouldn't want to see. I mean, aside from Nürburgring, that's probably gonna appear, not much. But we will see. Okay, Seoul is another urban track. This is a very short track as well. The black cars had so much mileage that they were debuffed, which didn't help me. Huh. So you basically decided to nerf yourself. Why did you nerf yourself? You could have just gone for the Minolta. Is it because the Minolta is the mainstream option and you didn't like it? Because you wanted to be a contrarian? I mean, it's fine. I personally don't like the idea of using the Minolta either, but in my case it's either that or farming, and I'm not gonna farm, so... Oh shit, that column! That was fucked up. They were 5 times cheaper. Well, but not really, because you cannot purchase this car. And that's the thing. You can only you just do the endurance once and that's it. And if you don't want to do the whole 2-hour endurance, it's simple. You just, you know. You do this spec and instead do it in 40 minutes. No, 40? No, not 40. It will be in half an hour. Sorry, my mathematics are trash. It happens. I used the Minolta the first time in PS2 and it felt a bit easy. So you were actually trying to nerf yourself. Yeah, I respect that. I personally can't remember if I ever did this championship. Like, now I'm starting to doubt myself. Because I feel like little me probably would have struggled to hell to do this. And if I use anything, it definitely wasn't the Minolta. It probably was the Nissan. And if it was the Nissan, I wonder if I managed to win this, because I do remember having access to the extreme events, so, you know. The Pescarolo. Yeah, I mean, those are the cars you need to purchase. I personally will not want to purchase anything. Though I do like the option of using the Pescarolo simply because I like it aesthetically. I mean, I also like the Minolta, it looks pretty nice. Well, to be honest, I like all of the Le Mans prototypes, they all look pretty cool. I think the one that probably looks the lamest is the Toyota GT1, that is not even an LMP for what I understand. It's from the GT1 category. So, I think technically not an LMP. So maybe that's why I don't like the way it looks. But yeah, it's whatever. So trust me, trying to keep racing categories in your head is very hard. There are so many of them and so many of those categories are dead And so many of those categories were like temporary for a couple of years and then they turn into something else. So yeah. Chaparral. That's the one that has two fans at the bottom, right? Is that the one, or am I thinking of a different car? It's a white car that has like a rectangle on the bottom, well, on the bottom, on behind, and has two fans. Is that the one, or am I thinking of a different car? It is ugly, yes. I mean, it looks funny at least. You can even say that it looks cool in a futuristic way, but it kind of looks like a fictional car. White and looks like missing textures. Well, usually models that are purely white without any design on top of it that gives it color will probably look like it's missing textures. So do you have to purchase the Chaparral, or did you say that it gets unlocked somewhere? I don't even know what brand it is. So I wouldn't know. One was a reward. Well, at this point though, I don't think there is any need to use that unless a particular event specifically requires that car. But outside of that, I think I will be fine with my Minolta. The other one, who knows? Oh, there are two Chaparral, really? No, there was only one. They had to bring two. Is that how it is? Interesting. I do wonder how much I might get my ass kicked in the extreme events. They are US exclusive. I mean, that's part of the issue. If I wanted to use it in US events, I mean, I already did all the US events. Unless, as I say, that some of the extreme events require an American car. You know? I don't know. Like, to me, the moment I see the extreme events, with the exception of like the wind, everything will be a surprise to me because I'm not gonna remember them. So I'm looking forward to it. The Japanese version didn't have Chaparral. Hey, I don't know. I mean, I know that there are some difference in cars. I also think it has probably to do with the fact that the American version came later, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the original Japanese version is from 2004 and the USA version is from 2005. So I think there are a lot of cars from 2005 that were not in the original one, right? Unless, because apparently the version of the game that I'm playing right now is the 2.0. So the 2.0, maybe it's the one that has like more modern cars, but I wouldn't know. Wait, did I already overtake the yellow car, or is this guy somehow losing? Damn, this guy is losing? How are you losing to that moron in front of you? Come on, dude. What are you doing? Unbelievable. You're giving a bad reputation to that car that is very nice. Well, in fact, I was almost able to win one race against LMPs with that thing. The first Tokyo one. I almost did it. Almost. Not quite. No, get out of my way. Is this yellow asshole always gonna be in my way now? At least this time he knew how to stay aside. It was released 2 months later in America? Oh really? Well, 2 months later could still mean next year. But I don't know. I mean, if it released in November of 2004 in Japan, 2 months later will mean January of 2005. I don't know exactly when it was. December 20 to March 3. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So for all intents and purposes, it is essentially a 2005 game. Very close. I guess it makes sense that this game holds up a lot to modern standards because it's essentially a PS3 game. It came out at almost at the end of the PS2 cycle. Well, the PS2 still had a bit more. Like it had 1 more year. It's not like it was right at the end. But yeah, it essentially was. Pretty sure that the developers were already thinking of the PS3 at this point. Now, I gotta agree that so far these races are being quite free. I gotta say that the Hong Kong one, I would say that it was probably the most close race, and very in quotation marks. That was Europe release, and it was released in 56 days. Well, close enough. I mean, instead of March, it will be like... Well, no, it probably was close to March. Probably February or something. Tiny bit less than a month. But what do you mean a tiny bit less than a month? 56 days is not a tiny bit less than a month. What are you talking about? I don't think it works that way. Yeah, 2 months. Tiny bit less than 2 months. So everyone is pitching in. I could pit in as well, considering that there are 3 laps left. Like, I could stand with these tires, but I don't see any reason to drive badly on purpose. Well, there is also something I could do here. I could change it to medium tires and see how they feel, since here obviously I won't need to pit in again. I just hope that I don't get used to them so much that I forget how the hard ones felt. But we will see. So how do the medium ones are, like, how is this car supposed to feel normally? And so far we've seen this car through a very limited lens. Keep current. Yeah, that seems like an amazing idea. Well, we will have to wait until the tires start heating up a little bit. Also, wait, 48 seconds? Is that because the checkpoints are still like far behind? Because there is no way the Minolta is 48 seconds away. No, okay, I was out to say the checkpoints were a little bit behind. Honestly, I don't notice a big difference, but yeah, I mean, I'm assuming there is. Well, there definitely should be a difference in durability, though. In terms of performance, not quite. It feels like the downforces doesn't change much compared to the hard ones, you know. So you know something interesting that I see of the pit stop in this game is that you can enter at whatever speed you want. I think that in older competitions that was essentially the case. You enter at like all the speed you can handle and you try to brake as hard as you can, where the engineers are, well, where the guys from your paddock are, right? Problem is that is essentially a dead trap, so I think every competition right now has the speed limits as soon as you enter the pit, so if you try to enter at full speed, you're obviously gonna get penalized. And probably, you know, processed for attempted murder. Because it is very dangerous to do that. Extremely dangerous even. But it's fine. Alright. So I gotta check on the next race that the hard tires are still equipped. They probably will still be equipped, but we gotta make sure, you know, because maybe they aren't. So are you equipped? Team El Capitan, fuck, dude. Fuck this truck. No, yeah, they are still equipped, the hard ones. Also, just in case, you gotta remember, in case something bad goes with the game, we can save state here. Just to make sure, because usually the game never crashes outside of like very specific situations, right? But it's better to be sure. I mean, I know that I already have the autosave, but we gotta we gotta be double sure. And Minolta on the home turf. What do you mean? This is supposed to be a place that resembles the USA. Wow, that was funny. Minolta's home turf will be in Japan. But it's funny to imagine that when you unlock a car, that's where the cars actually were waiting the whole time, you know? They were just waiting in the track, and the moment you win, you just take them from there. Probably. Most likely. Now, this track, aside from being quite annoying, what complication could it give me? Not much, right? In terms of tire wear, it's probably... I might need to pit in once. Because this track is slightly longer than Tokyo. And it also has a lot more corners. I think this one will require some pitting in for sure. My tires are not good enough to do that corner properly. Nice. And my main motivation to win this World Championship rather than the championship itself is simply because I want to see the extreme events. I mean, this championship, you can already see that when you have a car that can actually compete instead of trying to win with a car that is clearly not meant to compete here, you can see that you can do a lot better. But yeah. I do wonder if I would have done better with the other Mercedes that I was using if I install a Turbo 4. Like the Turbo Kit Stage 4. Will that have been enough? I don't think it will have. Since the main issue is that it just couldn't take corners properly. That's where it mostly struggled. In fact, if I recall correctly, it couldn't do the first corner of the oval at full speed. It actually had to brake, which is something that I don't need to do with this car. I still have my doubts if... Well, not to mention that the tire wear is a lot better on this car than it was on the other one. Well, not a whole lot better, but definitely better. And honestly, it would have been pretty cool to win under those conditions, but I feel like it will have been a pain in the ass. Like, it will require try-harding, and here you can do it normally. And I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was try-harding of a single event, but try-harding a whole championship, I feel like that's the one part I did not want to do, you know? Like, that's the one part I rather do normally. The Le Mans prototype, any of them, are essentially the intended way of playing this thing out. So essentially the black cars are supposed to be like worse version of these ones, right? For what you're saying with the black cars and your experience versus the Minolta, they are essentially slightly worse versions than these ones, but they are cheaper. That's what makes them so good, right? Well, I'm mostly curious just to see them. Like, I'm probably not gonna use them at all, but I am very curious to at least see what they are like, since I never saw them before. I mean, after all, they are essentially the equivalent of an Easter egg. Well, pretty sure that you can call them an Easter egg. So considering the lap time here, I think that that's almost as long as Tokyo, actually. Right. Thought it was gonna be longer than Tokyo. It might be about the same. Interestingly enough. Yeah, 4 for 3.6 million is nice. It's just that usually in this type of cars, you don't need multiple. Like right now, unless there is an event that specifically asks you to, I don't know, use the R92, I don't have any reason to use any other car that is not this one for competitions that allow it, basically. Like if the competition allows it, I can just easily use this one. But yeah, I guess having them in your collection is nice. As a completionist kind of thing. Just like here, as long as you play the NTSC version and not the PAL version, I don't think you're ever gonna get the 100% with that Nürburgring mission at the end. You gotta play PAL, and the problem with playing PAL is that you have a worse frame rate because of it. I mean, this is the PS2, so since they weren't using HDMI, the frame rate was essentially locked to whatever the TVs could handle or something like that. Look, I'm not a technical expert at the subject, but I think it's something like that. So I'm pretty sure the PAL release will run at 50, and that will be a bad idea. That will be a very bad idea. Uh-oh. Huh. In that corner is deadly. It seems that here I might need to pit. So I guess the only, at this rate, looking at this pattern, it might be that the only tracks that I could do without pitting were the first two, because this one, my tires are already starting to look bad. Also, quite crazy the difference between a car like this and obviously racing tires compared to the other racing car that I use, the Endurance, with economy. Well, not economy, it was the comfort tires, but they were supposed to be standard. And the fastest lap that I got there was like 153 or something. This one is so far 128, so essentially 25 seconds faster. That's a huge difference. Like, that's extremely big. It is the way it is. And my tire is starting to look orange. So when are these guys gonna pit in? I might want to pit in now, but if they are not doing it, I'm not doing it. Ah, fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm doing it because it feels that if I leave it for later, it's the same shit. The only bad thing here is if they don't pit at all, and I don't think that's gonna happen. Like, they will have to pit at least once. So it's not gonna be in this lap, weirdly enough. I'm assuming they will do it. So even if they don't pit... Oh, damn, that guy from behind gave me a little push. He really wants me to catch the other Minolta. So even if the Minolta doesn't pit, I'm pretty sure I can overtake him. Yeah, it's surprising how much the the tire got spent here. Like it got spent quite a lot. Yeah, I think it's the first time that I pit before the Minolta. What, are my tires getting worse? Well, the Gillette is the one that's gonna pit. But I mean, we already seen that car pits before everyone else. Though it's a good indicator that the other ones might be about to pit as well. At least we have that. Are you pitting, Minolta? You are pitting, yes. It was essentially only a matter of waiting one more lap, whatever. So that means that the difference is gonna be huge. The difference on how I win, I mean. Gonna be absolutely huge. I find it funny that the little bumps that it does, it's like it does little drifts in the asphalt constantly. I think maybe that's what's wearing the tires down so much. I mean, it's not like I can avoid it, you know. I don't do that because I like the sound or anything like that. It's whatever. At least the tires here will last long enough to the end of the race. Now, if Nürburgring is one of the tracks, I wonder how many laps it's gonna have. Maybe 3. We'll assume that with how long these tracks are here, it's probably gonna be 3 in total. It will be fucked up if he goes overboard for something like 4 or 5. Simply to be like, you know, this is the final boss of the game. You know. Feel fear. I can 100% expect that both Le Mans and Nürburgring will be present in this championship. Most likely as the second to last and as the last track. I'm also surprised by how long the game uses this track. I guess they must have felt really proud of it. I personally am just not a big fan, as I already said. I guess I do like the idea that it has like a variant with dirt. That's pretty creative. I like when games do that a single track can be multiple tracks at the same time. And here not just a different track, but essentially a completely different type of race as well. Dirt tires, very different from doing it in asphalt. so far. Well, I guess the oval race was more free than this one, but otherwise this might have been the most free track of the championship so far. Like almost 50 seconds away from the Minolta. Oh, and that was a PB, like a lap PB. Nice. Alright, so like visually this track looks stunning. That's without a doubt. Just feel that the layout doesn't look that nice. Okay. We're basically halfway through the championship. So it seems that the championship perfectly fits in it perfectly fits in 3 hours. So I guess my calculations were perfect. They couldn't have been more accurate, but we will see. It's too early to say. Oh, New York. And this is another track I don't like. So this track is mostly PTSD. Yeah, I really don't like this track. Well, at least when it comes to urban circuits, it's nothing compared to Hong Kong in terms of difficulty, I mean. I feel like Hong Kong, I even prefer it. Simply because it looks so nice. Though this one I guess is more similar to Seoul in terms of layout. Probably more similar to that. Wow, and the yellow car doesn't know what it's doing. Like the yellow car cannot even do a corner properly. Much less actually compete with Le Mans prototypes. It's just doing some very weird shit. And this being 15 laps, isn't that a little bit of an exaggeration? Like 15 laps is quite a lot, isn't it? Like 15 laps is fun. So thanks for the push. Isn't this around the same lap time that the previous track? Well, which means that we will have to pit stop no matter what. I think it will be possible to avoid pit stopping. But I think that if there is any race you can compare this one to, will be the Seoul one as well. Probably very similar in terms of pit stop, in terms of time difference and all of that. Maybe I did worry a little bit too much for nothing. You know that today I legitimately thought that I will have to retry like some races multiple times because there was no way I could win. But no, that's not the case. I don't think there would have been any other way. Well, I guess outside of using the black cars. I don't think there would have been any other way to make this harder and making it possible. Well, maybe using super hard tires instead of hard, but doing that, considering that I will never pit stop, well, it probably will be harder, yes. Most likely will. It seems that it's just gonna be smooth sailing until the end of the tournament. After all, with the accumulated points that I have, assuming the Minolta always got second place, and I'm pretty sure it did, the Minolta after this race will have 36 points, and I will have 60. So technically not a guaranteed win. Like if I forfeit every race after this one, I'm not gonna win. But I mean, I don't see why I will forfeit then. Like, assuming I don't get first place and I drive to completion, I will at least get fourth place, since the 5th and 6th are absolute showers, right? So yeah, as long as I don't forfeit, it's pretty much a guaranteed victory. But yeah, it's I don't think I would have been able to do it in any easier way. Still curious about trying the Turbo 4 on the Mercedes, but I don't think it would have gone that well. Curious about how people do that though. Like, apparently some people can use that Mercedes to actually win this. Well, actually, I can see a way to make this harder. I can see a way to make it harder, which is by disabling the racing aids. Problem is that I'm pretty sure that not even in real life you disable racing aids for cars like this. Considering that these are the 80s, well, the 80s, it's 1989, this car. Maybe it didn't have racing aids, but I don't know. Something I will have to investigate, but I'm pretty sure that they were already standard back then, right? Maybe not. I will have to see. I personally don't know. Now the interesting thing is that it seems that they didn't have the rights. Because remember that the previous game I think only has one LMP car, which is the Mazda. This game has a lot of LMPs, but they are all from the 90s at most. None of them is a modern LMP. So I like to think that here they didn't have like that amount of relevance to be able to afford modern ones. But I mean, Le Mans competitions is not like they stop in the 90s, you know. They were always a thing, so obviously there were also Le Mans prototypes produced in the game, in the year this game released, for example. But yeah, they couldn't get the rights, it seems. Yeah, after all, I think that the rights to those cars are probably as expensive as the rights for Formula 1. So I don't think it will be something very easy. I mean, good on them already that that they were able to get these ones. But even by the time that this game released, these were essentially obsolete models. But hey, it doesn't matter if they are obsolete, they are still cool. They are definitely pretty cool. Back then, when I didn't know shit about racings or anything like that, I assumed that those those racing prototypes, I didn't even know that that's how you were supposed to call them. But I thought they stopped getting produced in the 90s or something. And that after that, they stopped doing them for whatever reason, but no. It's that the game doesn't have the rights. I'm pretty sure that the Gran Turismo director would have loved to have the modern prototypes. I think the best they could do are the ones from the 90s. I don't know why I did that corner, but I guess I was distracted and that's it. Maybe I was just a little bit distracted. No worries. It seems that they push very hard for the Minolta Toyota to be considered one of the best cars in the game. But there is also that Sauber Mercedes. That one is definitely not a show. I wonder how I would have fared against it. Maybe if that one was my opponent here, it would have been pretty interesting races. But if that was the case, I might have lost the Hong Kong one. But then again, I wasn't... If the Sauber showed up on the first one, I would have re-rolled, as I already mentioned. Hey, it would have been interesting. Hey, do you remember, Kyle? Actually, yeah, the question is, do you remember what your opponents were when you did this? And then the other question will be, if the Sauber was someone you could beat easily, or that it was actually someone you had to avoid at all costs. I don't know. Personally think that avoiding at all costs seems like the best idea. I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the Seoul track here. I'm gonna pit in and I'm gonna switch to... No, not to super hard, almost fucked up. No, to medium. Since there's only 5 laps remaining, medium should be more than fine. I wonder how the Pescarolo here would have done. Because the Pescarolo doesn't pit on the first race, but most likely in every other race afterwards it probably will be pitting in, so I wonder what lap they will pit in. In terms of distance, it probably wouldn't be so far from... they will probably be at the same distance than the Nissans, or maybe even more behind than that. They probably will be even more behind than that. Who knows? It wasn't on this timeline that the Pescarolos are an opponent. It seems like this race is gonna go to 20 minutes after all. Well, the car behind me also got into an accident there. Could tell because the mini map, it seems like it went head first into the wall. I think this one is probably the longest race so far in the game, in the championship, right? It's gonna go for 20 minutes. I think that not even the Hong Kong one was that long. I don't know how long the Hong Kong one was. Like I'm doing worse with the medium tires than the hard ones. I actually wonder if I will need to pit in again simply for using the medium ones. I might need to. Well, another thing is that this championship seems to be the only event in the game that is not an endurance, where you are required to pit in. Well, maybe the extreme ones will be like that, but quite a change from Gran Turismo 3, where you already had that like a lot earlier. Here it's only on like what's essentially the last normal championship, and that's it. And probably what comes later as well. I don't know, I'm just really curious to see what comes later. So, you know, another thing that I'm curious is what happens when you run out of fuel. I obviously I will assume that you lose the race, but I wonder how it looks on the screen. Like, does it just say out of fuel, and they put like a sad trombone ironic sound? That will be funny. No, I don't remember if that ever happened to me. I mean, if you run out of fuel, you have to do it on purpose. I don't think you can run out of fuel by accident. I guess if in one pit stop you somehow decided to put like the option to not refuel when you didn't mean to, that's something that you have to actively do. Like by default, it always makes you refuel, you know? Well, that was a very huge PB. 118 best lap. The previous one was 120. Obviously, the proof that we didn't need proof, but yeah, the fact that medium tires perform much better. As you can already see on the bottom left, they might perform better, but they are not gonna last too long. So yeah, as nice as they can perform, I have my doubts. At least I won't need to pit in. But then, like here, it seems that they only last 6 laps. Like if I started with medium tires here, I will need to pit in twice. And maybe, well, judging by the time difference with the second place, that would have still been enough to win. Yeah, not the kind of thing I would like to try out. So for now, just keep the racing hard tires should be fine. It's already getting like deep orange at this point. Why it missed that? And just as expected, this race will go to 20 minutes, almost 21. I think so far it's the longest one, right? Don't particularly mind, but especially considering that they are most likely gonna be longer later. But we're gonna be here for some time. Also, here when it tells you the wheels, well, the tires that you are using, it still tells you the types that you started with, not the types that you ended with. So it says racing hard, which are the ones that you start with. Wait, the Minolta has 34? Oh, I think he got 3rd place in the oval, maybe? So otherwise he should have 36. Well, that's funny. I don't know why he got 3rd, but... So here we're in Paris. I'm not a big fan of this track, I gotta say. Either. So, to be fair, when it comes to urban circuits, I don't tend to prefer them. I do like the Tokyo one though. The Tokyo one is pretty nice. I think that's mostly because it almost feels like a regular racing track, while all of these are usually straight into 90-degree corner and that's it, or into super slow hairpin. Will you guys let me pass? They are struggling because of the yellow car. If the yellow car didn't start in 2nd place, it wouldn't be a problem. So I guess that's part of the question. Why is that guy starting in 2nd place? Why will that be the thing? Are they qualifying for the position? Something that I noticed of this game is that apparently, differently from all of the previous Gran Turismo games, well, I don't remember if 3 had qualifying, but I don't think you have the option to qualify here. You have the option to practice. Maybe after you select practice, it lets you qualify. I don't know. But if we're talking about qualifying here, like, how could that guy possibly qualify faster than anyone else in this race? Well, and the interesting thing is that if the Minolta didn't start on the lead, it's very possible that he also will struggle getting into first place. Really, I'm doing very badly on these corners. I'm actually struggling to catch the Minolta here. And considering the amount of laps, this is gonna be even longer than New York, most likely. This is most likely longer than New York, as my best lap time there is the same as New York. I mean, there is still room for improvement, and I did that with medium tires in New York instead of the hard ones that I'm using right now. But the difference is not substantial, it's essentially 3 laps longer. So that is something. That is quite something. It seems that, well, if every race gets potentially longer, then I can fully expect that at the end they are gonna throw a Nürburgring race with 5 laps. And a Nürburgring race with 5 laps on a car like this will most likely take half an hour is... It will be more than half an hour. It will be like 35 minutes at least. At least 35 minutes. If it's a Nürburgring 5 laps. I just wanna assume it won't. Also them. The other guys are wasting so much time because of the yellow car that if you look at the minimap, it's like the difference between both of us, Minolta, and them is crazy. But at the same time, a track like this, overtaking is not easy at all. Well, in fact here, if I wanted to overtake this guy without, like, producing an accident, it will be almost impossible. Like, right there, I actually contained myself to try to do a clean overtake, and you can't. Well, not in the corners, so you will have to be in the straight, well, in pretty much the only long straight in the track, which is the one that comes here. Promise that unfortunately now I'm far. And that's also something pretty possible, that you lose time on the previous corners because you don't want to crash against the guy that you have in front. And what you do is you, like, the other guy is already way ahead of you when the straight comes. It is kinda like very similar to Monaco in the sense that you're not gonna see many overtakes. In fact, will Monaco be a track here? That will be nice. I don't see why not. Maybe what they instead want to do is showcase a lot of the newer tracks. But they still use the Tokyo track that has been a thing since the previous game, so that one isn't new. And technically, the oval version of Twin Ring Motegi is very similar to the non-test course oval that was already a thing in Gran Turismo 2. But I guess it's a different one, so I guess it still counts as new. What I don't know is... the third one was Hong Kong, so that was a new one. After Hong Kong, it was El Capitan, right? That one was also new. You have New York. I'm missing one in the middle. Which one am I missing? Oh, Seoul. So yeah, all of those tracks are new. They were talking about new tracks. Monaco is not one of them. So like, I still think then the second to last track is gonna be Le Mans, and the last one is gonna be Nürburgring. Like, it certainly feels it will be that way. I guess I don't mind that much, but still gotta be long. That's the thing, they will be long races. Now this might be a close race, just like the one in Hong Kong. The difference is that in Hong Kong, at this point of the race, I still wasn't in first place. So I think it's not gonna be as close as Hong Kong, but it will still be nice. So something that is also nice is the guy that is in third place, they are approaching at a very, very fast speed. Well, to the point that they are already here, you know? Well, the thing is that I'm driving like shit, and that means that the Minolta is losing time, and that means that the other guy will get closer. The other guy is most likely the R92. Yeah, that's a problem. Well, I wouldn't call it a problem. If anything, it will make things more interesting. I think they are already interesting enough with the Minolta, just with the Minolta. So I don't think they need to be any more interesting, you know. But it's fine. I welcome a change in the monotony, right? And I will have to pit in the next lap. The pit is there. Basically, you go straight instead of taking the corner. Cause yeah, I'm already having some orange tires, and this is the halfway point of the track, well, of the race. Yeah, this one will be actually more than 20 minutes, which precisely makes me think that my theory is correct. Like, every race will get slightly longer than the previous one. It's an interesting decision. Don't particularly mind. Then the tire wear here is not a show. It's also the fact that I'm playing like shit. I feel like this track might be even harder. That's a new word. No, harder than Hong Kong. I think that Hong Kong was not this hard, but this track is kicking my ass. Well, gonna go to the pit stop. I didn't mean to refuel. It's not gonna matter because the amount of refueling that you're gonna do is... Well, you can cut it first of all, but even if I couldn't cut it, you're gonna refuel like fast enough to not be a factor. The problem is if fuel does count for the weight of the car, that's terrible. Wait, the Minolta also pits in with me. That's pretty funny. Huh. I think that's the first time we pit in the same lap, huh? Well, everyone else is pitting in too, except for the Nissans. Both Nissans haven't pit in yet. They will have to though, obviously. It's just a little bit embarrassing that my pit entrance was so bad. Just that after that, once I enter the pit zone, I don't know what else to expect there. There was a wall. So I went straight into the wall. But you also don't know up until, like, from which point it's gonna take control. Like the AI will take control of your car, so you don't need to worry about driving inside the pit lane. I guess here it wasn't that easy. Well, the Nissan cars will be left in the dust, I guess. Well, not that much, all things considered, actually. In fact, one of them is in second place, right? I mean, it makes sense considering how close he already was. Yeah, he's actually second place. I gotta assume that's the R92. Well, he's too far. I will have to see a checkpoint first. Okay, that's the first checkpoint. Yeah, he's the R92. How long can he hold on to second place? Because the Minolta is faster. So at this point, what he's doing is simply holding the Minolta back. Well, all in all, at least this race has been interesting. I don't think more interesting than the Hong Kong one, though. That one was still very interesting. Here, if I was using any other car, you know what I was saying before, that if I tried to make this more challenging, if I was using the Mercedes, these races would have been impossible to win. If I'm already struggling with the Minolta, I think the Minolta overtook. Because suddenly you're having... No, it didn't. So the Nissan is actually making the Minolta waste time. Well, that's an interesting development in itself. Unfortunately, it will make the whole race less interesting because it clearly means that the second place has no chance against me. I mean, for what I've seen on the straight, the Nissan is faster, but it shouldn't be. Or maybe it's simply that the corner exit, he does it faster, so it looks like the straight itself, like the top speed is faster, when in reality it isn't, right? Maybe that's what's happening. I'm surprised though that after all this time, the Minolta is still in second place. That's crazy. He simply cannot take his position back. And it was pretty... I think that it was pretty funny how close he was to, like how close the R92 was to like get out of pits behind the Minolta. And if that was the case, I'm pretty sure that the situation here would have been the Minolta constantly being behind me. But since that wasn't the case, they are both wasting an insane amount of time. But yeah. I would have liked a bit more fight, but I guess it is what it is. This was the outcome instead. And there's nothing I could have been done to I could have done to avoid it. It's not like I can control when they get out of pits. But maybe if I hadn't overtaken the Minolta so early and he didn't lose a lot of time because of me, it will still be like fighting me right now. Yeah, that didn't happen. I don't know if in the following Gran Turismo games if the AI is any better or not. I don't think it is. I think that they are basically permanently done. They are just very, very done. So they will always struggle with overtaking, though at the same time, if I made a realistic AI, they wouldn't overtake here at all. Unless they had a mechanic like DRS from Formula 1 where you get a speed boost in certain sections precisely to overtake. There is no way you can overtake in a track like this realistically. Because the straight, if we're talking about real life and not in this game, that straight is not long enough for someone to get enough speed to overtake unless they do the corner exit in parallel or close, like super close to each other. But this is a track, I don't know in what competition it might have been used in real life, but whatever competition it was used on, I can imagine people not liking it very much. It's just like Monaco, the only thing that you're watching is a car's parade. You're not watching a race. You're just watching a show. You're just watching the cars one after the other, see how pretty they look like, right? You're not watching them fight each other. Because realistically, this straight is the only place you can overtake on. There is no other place here that is some place that you can overtake. There is no way. And you can say that urban tracks are like that, but it really depends on which one. But any track with super slow corners like this one is asking for not a single overtake. I guess I could investigate later. I could check if there is any recording of a real life race here, because I gotta assume this is a real life track since it happens in Paris. Gran Turismo could just say, yeah, this happens in Paris, and it actually doesn't. But I want to believe that it's just like the other tracks, it's most likely real. And if it is real, it's probably a shit show. So I gotta admit that visually it looks pretty nice, but I mean that's because Paris visually looks pretty nice. With all of the classic style buildings. Well, not to mention that there is an amusement park right there. Well, in fact, I think this is part of the amusement park, most likely. This track. Probably. I think that there where that building is, that probably is already the street, right? Well, this is already the street. I guess it's a combination of the like regular streets like this one and an amusement park. I do gotta admit that visually this looks super nice. Visually this is a very pretty track. I wouldn't say prettier than Hong Kong. Well, actually they are both close, because Hong Kong seems that it only happens on nighttime. Well, this one happens on daytime. I guess they are both very good on their own. Wait, did the Minolta overtake? No, it didn't, so I'm surprised that the Minolta is doing so badly. Because apparently the gap between the Nissan and the Minolta got higher. Maybe it is as Kyle says that the Minolta struggles a lot here with... Like, it's basically good on anything that is not top speed. Which means that in a track that is only corners like this, it's gonna struggle. Could be. But... yeah, if it wasn't for the yellow car blocking the Nissans, I wonder if the Nissans would have already been overtaking the Minolta. Well, or if the Nissan started earlier than the Minolta, if I don't think the Minolta would have overtaken. The Suzuka circuit, okay, that's a good choice. And it's also a very Japanese choice, indeed. Why the Japanese choice? I'm surprised though, only 9 laps. I know that this track is relatively long, but I feel like that's an exaggeration. Like, isn't 1 lap here like 2 minutes? Well, I mean, I guess that's fine. If it is 2 minutes, the whole race will take 18 minutes. But compared to some of the other ones, well, we will see how it goes. It is also a track that had its debut with this game. Oh, where are you going, Minolta? I didn't do that. That was actually a surprisingly legal overtake, because he just went off track on his own. I didn't push him. Huh. Nice. Feels nice when your overtake is 100% legal. And the only thing the opponent can do is watch you from behind. Hey, like, I did that the way I was supposed to. You know? It ain't my fault that you couldn't do the corner right. Though those corners are hard, and well, you could say that about pretty much any corner in this track. I guess from a technical standpoint, well, aside from Nürburgring, this might be one of the most technical tracks that you can drive in this game. Nürburgring is essentially the exception to every single rule. Any rule that you could think of, Nürburgring is at the top. Like, longest, hardest, most dangerous. Anything that you wanna think, Nürburgring is gonna be there. And ironically, I will say that Le Mans is not nearly as technical as this one. This track, the most technical aspect of this track, I think it's the initial series of corners. Those are not easy to go through at all. They are very deceiving. There's actually less than 2 minutes per lap, especially considering that that previous lap was on a standing start. So I feel like, I don't know how the developers calculate the amount of laps, but this amount of laps is clearly gonna make this race a lot shorter. And I can do this even faster since I went off track in the sand on that lap, and the sand slows you down a lot. Not to mention that the lap itself wasn't that good, even ignoring that off track, so actually, I'm fucking up this corner so badly. And I gotta believe that my opponents are not doing much better if I was able to build such a distance against them. But instead of duration and all of that, I guess the thing that I'm the most worried about is, will I need to pit in? I don't know. I might need to. I mean, the tire wear in this track, simply because of those corners at the start, will be significant. Will definitely be significant. So this lap will still be lacking. Like, a regular lap is probably gonna be 140. Like, assuming you drive relatively well, 140 is probably the lap you can do in these cars. And with 140, 9 laps is like 13 minutes or something like that. So compared to the previous ones, quite short. Thankfully. I'm not complaining, you know, like I'm thankful for it. And this is the 8th race already, so if my theory is correct, next one will already be Le Mans. And Le Mans, if they want to fit the duration of these races, I think it will have to be 6 or 7 laps. Because anything more than that will probably be a lot. I mean, that is already quite a lot in itself. And then if they put Nürburgring at the end, we will see what kind of crazy thing they do. Now remember that before I do the final race, I would like to reset the game to reduce the odds of crashing. Actually, something that I wonder, will the game, well, the credit sequence, because I'm assuming that after this thing after you win this, the credits are gonna show up, right? So I'm assuming that the credit sequence is gonna be a movie like the intro, right? Because you know that this game has a problem, that is that it cannot play the demo. Like, it cannot simulate the cars, like AI cars driving at the beginning when you are in the main menu and you let it rock. That's something it cannot simulate. I hope there isn't any problem similar to that will apply to the credit sequence or anything like that. Obviously, it's not like I need to redo the whole championship. In that case, I will only need to redo the last one, the last race. But I rather not. If that's an option, I rather not. So something tells me that I might need to pit stop either at the end, no, I think at the end of lap 7. It really looks like it might be there, that I might want to pit stop. So that's... Oh, and there is also... Okay. You can see that this one doesn't have total time, it says best lap. So I think that's related to rolling start or standing start. I don't know why though, like, that doesn't make any sense. Why will rolling start say total time and this one should say best lap? Unless it's about the expected duration of the event. And since this one is shorter, it doesn't bother showing the total time. But if I make mistakes like this, I don't know if it's gonna be shorter. Unfortunately, here the only way to see the total time is by looking at the final, well, when you cross the finish line, to see what the leaderboard say. If it's 140 something, it's most likely, like I say, 13 minutes or something. I'm too lazy to do the maths. Well, if it was 10 laps instead of 9, it will be 14 minutes, right? 14 and something. Maybe not. Though it doesn't matter how much it is. What matters is that it's probably shorter than the previous ones. So we're gonna run into that yellow car. Hopefully not in an... Oh, the Minolta is also pitting, huh? That's interesting. Really wonder how they calculate the tire wear. Because a lot of times it seems that they spend more tires than I do. Some other times I spend like more or very similar tires than they do. But I'm using the same configuration every time. Unless they internally use a different configuration. It could happen. Like maybe for this track they decide to go for like faster tires or something. Well, here I'm gonna pit in on this lap, and well, that way I also can avoid the lap car, so it doesn't make me waste time. Not like it's something that matters, but I also want to put medium tires. Wait, where is the pit entrance? Here, right? No, that's a wall. No, this is the pit entrance. Damn it, this stoner ass pit. Oh, actually, you had a direct pit entrance. Damn it. It was a clown show. That you have so many different paths that you don't know which one is the right one. Because I know that there are a lot of tracks that have super weird pit entrances. But this one... This one is normal. It's just that, I guess depending on what competition they are running, the pit entrance changes, but... It was pretty funny running into the wall like that. Like I was expecting an entrance and suddenly I should see a bunch of a tire wall like that. Very funny. That's the one thing that if you were playing an actual simulator, you always want to practice the pit entrance beforehand. Yes, you cannot expect that every track is gonna have the pits on the main straight where the finish line is, and that you simply move to the side. In a lot of tracks, that's not the case. The perfect example is Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca has the pit entrance like before the last hairpin. But the thing is that to enter the pit lane, you also have to brake, you know? You have to brake and do the corner as if you were doing it like normally. So here it's hard to tell, but yeah, if you wanna go to the pit stop, you could do it from there. You can see that there is a path. I don't know if it's legal though. That's the thing, you could have a asphalt there, but maybe the competition does not allow that specific path. Here obviously it doesn't matter because there are not such rules, but in a regular competition there will be rules, without a doubt. I should make a coffee. Hope I can find it and like that pit entrance. I thought that you went to make a coffee like all this time. But yeah, before you go make a coffee, I had a question for you. Do you remember what opponents you race against the moment you did this championship? Because I want to know if you won with the Mercedes being there. By Mercedes I mean the Sauber Mercedes. Did you did it with that guy, or did you do it with like the Minolta and company? I was just doing some stuff. Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind. Ah, shit. That is fine, whatever. I still win. The opponent line up when I play, yeah. Wait, no way. That was a PB. Well, I changed to medium tires, so it makes sense that it's a PB. I mean, the lap itself was very bad, but it is true that I did it with medium tires instead of hard ones. There was a Pescarolo and a Chaparral for sure. So you probably didn't do it with a Sauber, right? Because now that I'm doing this, I'm just curious to see how hard beating the Sauber with this Minolta would have been. Because it probably would have still been legitimately hard, you know? But now I'm curious, since in most cases against this Minolta I have no problem. So this is not Le Mans, it's Grand Valley. Well, that's weird. Not only Grand Valley, but it's Grand Valley reverse. That's very weird. I mean, that's a weird track choice by itself. Even weirder that it has to be the reverse version instead of the normal one. Because, you know, obviously this track is not new from this game. This is a track that's been here since the OG. So this is, hold up. Actually, is this a different variant? It might be a different variant, right? I think it is. Like the Grand Valley from Gran Turismo I, I don't think it has those corners like that on the bottom left side. I think that this is a slided tour. And then here you go back to the normal track. Yeah, I think that makes more sense, even considering the fact that there is a path split, you know. Yeah, I think that there are quite some modifications. Just that, wasn't it just called Grand Valley, or was there an additional word that I didn't read? Because yeah, Grand Valley reverse, but there might have been one more word that I might have not seen. Will be the case. This is definitely not the OG Grand Valley, it's a different version. Maybe I'm wrong and I'm just making shit up. Yeah, that's always a chance, that's always an option, but I feel like this is not the normal Grand Valley. You can see that there is a detour to the left. I think that that's where the original goes. Grand Valley, Brazil. Grand Valley doesn't strike me as the kind of track that will be in Brazil, you know. I mean, maybe it is, you never know. It doesn't strike me as that kind of track. Because you know that if this game had realistic damage, I basically will have DNF every single race. Thankfully it doesn't. But obviously, if it had realistic damage, you know how careful I will be about these corners. Like, I will be doing them twice as slow as I'm doing them right now. Obviously. We cannot afford... We cannot afford any risks in a situation like that. Thankfully that's not the case. But it will also affect overtaking. As I said in that Paris track, if you want to overtake cleanly there, like, good luck doing that. But if it was on Brazil, I don't know. I don't know how bad car crime is on Brazil. Not like it would have been much better here, mind you. It wouldn't have changed much. Well, and I'm pretty sure it also wouldn't have changed much in Chile either. You know that pretty easy to shit talk about Brazil's crime, but not like here it will be any better. But it depends on which part, obviously. Here it will only be sprints. But you have a sprint problem there, really? Like, people actually do like street races That's pretty funny. I don't think here we really have... I mean, we have a couple of news sometimes a year that there is an illegal street race. Well, illegal street race is redundant. They are all illegal, but we usually have news that one of those went wrong like once a year. Usually, well, I don't think people can afford to do that shit here anyway, so that will probably not help. Right now that I'm looking at this track, I'm 100% sure that this is an alternate version of Grand Valley, because I remember the endurance that I had in Gran Turismo 3 that I'm pretty sure was in Grand Valley, and I remember one of the sections that is not here. This is a different Grand Valley. I can hear the tuned cars here about as often as the dogs at night. And that sounds like a pain in the ass. I mean, sometimes here I hear like motorcycles doing all sorts of shit. Though they only tend to show up during summer. It's like every asshole comes for vacation here and they bring their super loud motorcycles and they bring it at night to make the most amount of noise possible. But yeah, that's something that doesn't really happen often outside of summer, I guess. Keeps me up at night is the cats doing suicide jumps on the ceiling. Oh, that's why you don't like cats. I was about to say. That's an interesting insight. I will assume that if you live in a house, having cats do that shit can be very annoying. I see sometimes cats jumping from roof to roof in like the other side of the street, like the side that I have in front of me, and it's like they really feel like they are suicide jumping, but they somehow always manage to not die. But that's not a problem that you have if you live in a building. Like in an apartment, I mean. Inside a building. But if you live in a house, that's absolutely a problem. Without a doubt. I can imagine that I would hate cats too if I had to suffer through that. But you know, you can just put like, I don't know, spikes. I know that it's easier said than done. Not to mention that, of course, you have to spend money on it. So that in itself is very annoying. But yeah. I think that it will at least stop them in some way. Maybe, maybe not. So, I'm dominating this race, but not by much. And I will calculate that the pit stop is probably in lap 8. Probably. Probably around there. I think the old reliable, wait, hold up. The old reliable glass-filled sausage. Glass-filled sausage. Oh, I get it. Does that actually work? I cannot imagine them going far enough to like swallow a whole sausage without realizing something is wrong, right? Well, not to mention that you will have to deal with a corpse if they manage to die close to your house. It doesn't seem like a tremendously good idea. At that point you could have something like a water spray. It's very often used here to kill dogs. Damn, that's fucked up. I remember that there are some places here that they don't put the glasses. They usually put poison inside of a sausage to kill them. So the fucked up thing is that here, I don't know if that's the case anymore, but back then they used to kill dogs that were not stray dogs. Like they just kill neighbor dogs because they felt like it. I actually never knew exactly why they did it. There seemed to be much of a reason to do it. I guess they have a different opinion. Right, the Minolta is also pitching in right now. That's cool. I guess this race is surprisingly balanced right now. Like this guy could be going faster or slower. Like it's basically around the middle, I will say. Probably. It's a 9-second difference so far. So I don't know if he will close the distance or not. But at least the difference with the Nissan is not bad enough, considering that he's gonna pit in, obviously. It will be terrible if he did not pit in at all, because it's essentially impossible to win, but he will pit in this lap, don't worry about it. Okay, there it is. And the R90, the R89 should follow. Correct. They might keep doing this corner wrong. Not an easy corner at all, honestly. Okay, this race is definitely free as well. So that means that there's only one more remaining, and I'm curious to know which one it's gonna be. I still have all my bets on Nürburgring. But I mean, the fact that they choose Grand Valley for this one makes me have second thoughts. Because Grand Valley seems like a very odd choice. But it might be like maybe midfield or high-speed ring. I don't know. Well, needless to say, the victory in the championship is way more than guaranteed. But at this point, considering that I was able to win every race, I want to also win the last one too. Now here, something that I'm just realizing, the same thing that happened in Paris is happening here again. The R92 got out of pits before the Minolta could overtake, and now it's making it waste time. Pretty funny. Very, very funny. It is what it is. I might even get a lap car right here. I think that's probably either the... it's most likely the yellow car. That guy there. Surprisingly, with how slow those cars are, I haven't really lapped them in every single track. I will say that probably in the majority. But yeah. Also, the Minolta was able to overtake, so now he's no longer gonna waste time. But it's way too late to try to get close to me. So let's make it like this. Well, actually, never mind. I was gonna say let's make it the challenge to lap this yellow car, but he's pretty much already lapped. Yeah, there you go. That wasn't much of a challenge, I will say, at all. That's fine. Yeah, this is simply another one of those that is just a very free race with no chances of the opponents winning at all. I gotta say that this track has, especially this version of the track, has a lot of very nasty corners, for sure. And this race was almost 20 minutes. Yeah, that's fine by me. Alright. Only one more remaining. I don't know how that's gonna be. But yeah, we will see. Okay, I don't expect any obstacles really. Oh, I like this camera. The way they pan, well, not really pan, but like they show all of the cars from afar. Pretty sure that if you let a whole lap rock, there's gonna be a lot of very nice angles. But yeah, I don't wanna do that. So, as I said, I gotta reset the game to reduce the chances of it crashing for no reason. And then we will do the final race. So give me a second for me to reset it real quick. I mean, if I had done it in almost every championship so far, Of course, I'm gonna do it for the longest one so far. So yeah. Let's see what that final one is. My bets remain on Nürburgring here. Oh, also I gotta remember to change the resolution as always. Final race. Are you gonna send me to Germany? No, it's actually Le Mans. That's surprising. So you actually used Le Mans and did not use Nürburgring. Very surprised. But yeah, Le Mans makes sense considering that obviously the main opponents are Le Mans prototypes. Yeah, save corruption. Well, I have a save state. Well, no, actually, I have a save state very far from here, so might as well get another one here. Alright. This is a rolling start, and this is of course the Le Mans version with chicanes. Being 4 laps, this is most likely gonna take close to 15 minutes. So that's very reasonable. At least they didn't make the final race a mini endurance, they actually made it very reasonable. The question is, will I need to change tires? Because I mean, with how long the track is, even if your tires are looking relatively good at the beginning of the lap, at the end of the lap they might suffer quite a lot, you know. Get out. Well, in a track like this, if it is true that the Minolta has a higher top speed than every other car, then these Nissans are gonna be left behind in the dust, essentially. We will see that firsthand here. Well, this guy is holding on without slipstream. Okay, not that much. Right, never mind. Maybe without slipstream he cannot hold on that much. Okay. Yeah, this is the natural habitat of these cars. This is what they do. It's Le Mans prototype because they race here in Le Mans. Oh, I forgot that this was the second chicane. I was about to steer to the right. That would have been bad. But I also fucked that chicane up a little bit. Right, come on. Even though obviously I will win the championship regardless, I need to win this race. To keep my honor intact. Hey, come on. In the one track that is supposed to be where you're supposed to race, it's the one that you're gonna lose. You cannot let that happen. That is not allowed. You gotta win. Now then, the tire consumption is quite worrying. Because the front tires don't give a shit. They are still blue. And that's actually a messed up combination. The front tires are blue, while the rear ones are green. I don't think I remember seeing something like that before. So, I mean, it makes sense because of the insane straights that this game has, but damn. That's quite something. I gotta say that this Minolta is going very fast. By that I mean my rival is going very fast. And again, I'm not really good at driving in Le Mans. Like, a lot of these corners filter me because I'm too chicken to take them at the intended speed. I usually always take them slower. he doesn't take them slower. Blue and wasabi tires, well, no longer blue now, they have become dark green. I was out to say, oh, that sucks. Damn it. I was out to say you chicken out on that corner, but he didn't chicken out. He calculated for the second one. I mean, it was a chicane. That sucks. It's falling in the sand here really slows you down. So you know that we always have one alternative. Like, let's assume that it's the final lap and we are still in second place. We have the secret technique. The secret technique with the chicanes, you know? We can always do that. If things go badly, that's always a totally... Oh, what the hell? He also got an accident in a chicane, huh? That's interesting. I'm not the only one that failed one of these chicanes. But it's nice to see that the CPU makes the same mistakes I do. Well, technically it was in this chicane, but the point is that it was essentially the same mistake. The same mistake that, by the way, I almost do again. Hey, don't worry about it. We're fine. Hey, I don't know how the tire wear is gonna be. I feel like my tires should be able to resist until the end of the race, but is that really the case? Oh, what the hell? Hey, come on, dude. That's very rude. Oh, he took that corner super fast. That's what I'm saying. The AI here, aside from that accident they had, they drive very fast in Le Mans. But it's probably more that I'm driving slow. I'm just very bad at Le Mans. Like it's a track made for the brave. And I'm not very brave to take these corners at all. Especially because a lot of these corners come right after a straight. And a very fast straight, obviously, because these cars are extremely fast. It's just one of those things that I do what I can, but what I can might not be enough. That being said, this should be enough. And surprisingly, the 2 times I overtook this guy were fully legal. I didn't do anything weird. This guy is doing weird things to me here, though. But that's basically what I'm saying. The AI does this track super fast. And that's the reason why he's pushing me so much. It's not because he decided to be aggressive. It's because he's so fast that he's like, hey, come on, keep going. Like, it's like, why are you slowing down this early? But yeah, I'm slowing down early because doing these corners otherwise is hard. Also, how is it going, silly shark boy? Just here about to finish this championship. This is the final race of the Gran Turismo World Championship. We're about to seal the deal. Not really a problem when you use the Minolta. This car is just very good. As expected, obviously. No surprises here. So the question is, will this guy fit in on this lap? Or will it just, you know, let it rock? I feel like he's gonna let it rock. And if he does let it rock, I have to let it rock as well, obviously. Oh, he got into another accident, I think. Damn, I think that the Minolta really struggles on the first chicane. I'm surprised he doesn't struggle on the second one. I know I do. A little bit. I don't like the way my tires are looking right now. They are probably gonna be yellow by the start of the final lap. You might think that, well, that's fine, but that's not really fine. Because that essentially means that they are gonna be close to... Well, they are gonna be orange by the end of the final lap. That's the issue. We will see how it goes. You can do that a lot faster than how I'm doing it. Like, I'm braking a lot, but you don't really need to. It's more than I'm paying a lot of attention to the suggested gear, but in reality, you can do that at close to full speed. But not really full speed. I don't think that's possible with this car. This other corner looks similar, but it's a lot slower. And for that one, you need to brake. And we get the intro song for the final lap, huh? That's very fitting. It's not gonna be the final song, though. Hey, I'm not gonna pit in here. I don't think it's a good idea. Simply because I cannot imagine them pitting in. Yeah, they indeed won't pit in. Oh, never mind, they did. Well, by they I mean the Minolta. Well, that's pretty funny. But the Nissan didn't follow. Huh. Already forgot who's the singer? What do you mean already forgot? You are thinking I knew in the first place. Yes, I know that they posted it yesterday on Discord, but I don't remember, dude. Rather, I didn't pay that much attention. It could be Van Damme. I don't know, but what I do know is if I had to stop in pits, I would have lost to the Nissan. Maybe no, I don't think I will have enough time to overtake. I don't think it would have been possible. No, with 14 seconds there is no way. If I were to pit in here, there is absolutely zero way I would have been able to overtake him back. So it's very disappointing that the Minolta decided to pit in. I will have like a closer race, but whatever. And it's the funny thing is, unless I wasn't paying attention, it's the only one that pit in. Like, that's the thing that makes it even weirder. No one else entered pits but him. I was saying earlier that I'm kind of a chicken for this track because I always take the corner super slow. Yeah, but that guy was a chicken with the tires. This is gonna be a clean victory. It will be a little bit tough towards the end with the tires, but shouldn't be a problem. You see, for example, corners like this are a lot faster than what I'm doing. I simply don't dare to do them. I'm just gonna save state in case it decides to crash or something. Alright, we got the championship. It honestly had a lot of margin, like, this was not hard to do at all. But I'm glad, because honestly with the Mercedes that I tried earlier, it would have been absolutely impossible to win. But instead, if you use this one and without any additional thing, like I didn't install the nitro or anything, the only thing that I'm using that's different from default is the racing hard tires instead of racing medium. But yeah, we beat the game apparently. So hold up, is it gonna crash is my question. No, it didn't. Nice. Well, we got the paycheck, a very generous paycheck. Do it with the CLK. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, mister. But hey, we got it. Is it gonna show the credits though? I wonder. Well, it's gonna show me the reward first. That's just like, as Kyle already told me, is the Force GT, which is the one that appears in the intro. In the intro and the main menu. It's just that I thought that you could buy this one with money, so I'm surprised it's a reward, but maybe I'm confusing it. This is a pretty nice car. You can now view the ending movie, but you're not gonna show. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you can view it, but we're not gonna show it. Well, we got that. Pretty nice, right? But yeah, it's not over yet. There are still the extreme events remaining, and well, some other ones I might want to do. Oh, they actually show Nürburgring here. That makes me even more surprised that they didn't make it the last race. But I guess they just wanted to promote Le Mans instead. And this has the potential to be very long credits. Because it is, okay, I was out to say they are already showing these images and the credits didn't even start rolling, but no, there they are. So that was pretty nice. Honestly, I'll keep repeating the same thing that I repeat every time, but this really shows how much of a bad game Gran Turismo 3 was. Like, this game does everything that the game does, but better. I think the only exception I can think of is the rally races and the fact that, well, I don't like the intro song more than the one in Gran Turismo 3. I also think the license tests in Gran Turismo 3 were more fitting, but that's about everything that the game does better. Like, this game is better in every single way, and I wouldn't mind that too much if it wasn't for the fact that the simulation mode of Gran Turismo 3 is so bad. Because if it was just decent, I wouldn't even want to talk shit, but it isn't. So yeah, essentially I think that, as I said before, it's one of the best PS2 games there is. And a game that, just like some other PS2 games, it's a game that still has modern standards. Like, this game could release today, in 10th of August of 2025, and if they revamp the graphics to make it, you know, look more modern, and they kept everything else the same, it will still be an acceptable game for today's standards. And this was released 20 years ago. So that's the crazy thing to me. As I was also saying, yes, maybe they will have to launch it with online. Like, we will have to launch it with a way to play against other people, because nowadays if a game doesn't have online, unless it's supposed to be like I don't know, a roguelike or whatever, people start getting pissy, right? But aside from that, like, this could be a game released nowadays, and it will be believable that this released today, you know? So I just think it's a fantastic game. It does have a lot of questionable things, like the mission mode, that some missions are free and some others are close to impossible. I'm also not a fan of the repetition in the special condition events. I feel like that's not very nice, because it's the same thing that Gran Turismo 3 had. I don't think there's any reason to copy it. But yeah, they are very minor things compared to everything else that is just so well done, right? You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. That's pretty much Gran Turismo 3 with 4. Essentially, the beauty is, and look at the guy overtaking in the carousel. That's a stage, obviously. Everyone that takes the carousel will take it from the inner side. They wanted to make it look cool. I respect that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what comes on the extreme event. So as I say, this is not over yet because of that. We still have the extreme events to look forward to. But I also have to probably accept the fact that they are a post-game thing. So I'm gonna try not to get overly mad when I eventually get filtered, because something tells me that I will get filtered. The same way I got filtered by the missions, I think the extreme events might be a problem as well, since I don't remember them outside of like the win. So I could get demolished. And if that's the case, well, I just at least gotta say that this is where the developers intend you to finish the game, right? Like, everything else is an extra if you want more and if you want to get your ass kicked, I'm assuming. Yeah, tutorial completed, now the real game begins. Yeah, I believe that. I mean, it's the same thing that happens in Ridge Racer. The moment the credits roll are the moments that is the moment that that the real game begins. Yeah, everything else is a tutorial pretty much. Now I gotta say that it's quite poetic that the credit sequence, it's a whole lap around Nürburgring. Because a whole lap in Nürburgring in a car like this probably takes like 7 minutes to 8 minutes. And that's probably the entire duration of the credit sequence. So that's pretty cool, you know? Like, the fact that they actually make it like that. As I say, very poetic. I think that they are gonna cut it on the final straight. Yeah, they just cut it there. Alright, that was cool. That was a cool credit sequence. You know, a lot of credit sequences are simply the staff names and that's it. But this one with that Nürburgring lap in the background was pretty cool. So, well, we got that. And now what becomes available are the extreme events. To further hone your skill, try challenging some of these exclusive high difficulty races. So I have Gran Turismo All Stars, then these are all championships. Holy shit, well, not all. Most of these require S license, so these are no restrictions, so you could easily just pick an LMP and obliterate everyone, I'm assuming. Dream car. Okay, this one you need a sport car. I mean, you can use a racing car with that. Oh, the Formula GT. This is the classic. Hey, do you know where you're supposed to unlock the first Formula car? Or like the easiest to unlock Formula car? One requires a Ford GT. Well, if it's any Ford GT, I could simply use the one they gave me, but something tells me... Well, it says that it's sport cars, and that's a racing car. In World Circuit Tour, yeah, I don't know what they mean by high difficulty, because aside from maybe a couple of these, for example this one, if you're expected to drive against rally cars or like lower tier racing cars, you can very easily win this with the LMP. How many laps are per race? Well, it seems to be mostly not super long like the World Championship. What about this one? It's also shorter, like they are still not super short, but achieve 100% completion. Wait, but that doesn't make any sense. How will you win this otherwise? You cannot achieve 100% completion without winning that. That seems a little bit contradictory, right? So how will you do it? You know? Oh, these ones are a little bit longer. This one in real circuit tours. Or win the 24-hour Nürburgring race, then that's fucked up. That's very messed up. So those are the only ways to get Formula cars? Holy shit. So this is essentially impossible to win. And I'm assuming that the lap count here is ridiculous, yeah. Yeah, essentially the issue here, aside from the fact that you need a Formula car, is the fact that each one of these is an endurance in itself. In fact, 60 laps in Tokyo, wasn't that the endurance in Gran Turismo 3? So these are all endurances, pretty much. And there are 15 of them. 15 races. Yes, that's what I was saying. 15 endurances in a row. Hey, sure, you use a Formula car, but what the hell, dude? Well, look. I'll say this. I don't promise playing this tomorrow. I don't promise it. Like, maybe tomorrow I'm gonna play something else. Because this looks like the kind of thing that... Aside from the fact that it's gonna take a long time and it might be hard, I think that after today and after that championship that I did, the best thing I can do is simply take a little break. So I think I'm gonna do that. And maybe I could... Well, maybe I should play a game tomorrow and then I come back to it in the next stream, but maybe I can come back to this after Toho 20 releases. I don't know. I will see what I do. Maybe in 2 days I'm gonna play this, or maybe in a week or more, or maybe even tomorrow, but don't expect it to be tomorrow, is the only thing I say. It might not be. Yeah, the Minolta can do it. I obviously believe that the Minolta can do it. Well, look, here's the thing. Something that I could do is showcase the 24-hour Nürburgring resistance on stream on B-Spec and show that it's gonna be free to win, assuming I can make it free to win. And when that happens, I am like, this that you seen here, I'm doing it off stream. And I basically use disable the frame limit from the emulator, put it in 4 times the speed in B-Spec, and basically let it happen on its own. Assuming I can let it happen on its own, because I think you need to give orders to pit in, but I don't know how much freedom the B-Spec driver has, but if that's possible, I'm probably doing that off stream. Though then again, doing that Formula Championship with races that long is not a good idea. The B-Spec driver is gonna shit himself. Yeah, most likely, but it is what it is. In any case, that will be it for me for today, so thanks everyone a lot for watching. I'll be seeing you tomorrow probably not with this game, but I'll think about it. So yeah, have a good one and take care.